Hello, everyone. Oh, wow. What? How are you all feeling today? Let's put some volume on here. There we go. Let's get the lights on. Move it forward. We need some lippy on. We need some lippy on. Let's get some lipstick on. Let's get everything moving here. Let's talk about craziness of the cosmos. Good morning, good morning, morning. Crazy morning so far. Yeah. It is. It is. So you got to put the lipstick on. Feeling a little bit brighter. My hair is getting long, man. Oh, procrastination on getting hair done. Because if I get it done, it's getting chopped all off. So it's got to get done soon. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is the Guru Mama. I'm a psychic. I'm a spiritual love of life coach and an astrologer. And you know what? I think I'm just going to go for spiritual love of life coach and astrologer. The psychicness, I know I keep on saying that. Psychicness is just there, just there. So what is coming on? What's going on out there? Man, crazy shenanigans, people. Oh, and it's just the intensity is just getting bigger. Well, we have the big Sun Mercury Saturn conjunction today. So we need to pay attention to what we're seeding and set into motion and or called forth from tomorrow. The other part too is that this has been a year in waiting of this Saturn and Sun conjunction because they didn't conjunct last year. The Sun was already in in Pisces. And the ruler of the whole chart right now, I mean, we've been so used to having, Saturn be the ruler of the chart for so many years. Now it's Neptune. And so what does that mean? That means we have to do things in a very spiritual way, in a very consciously spiritual way, in a way that we have to learn how to release, let go, shed. I heard that being said today. But we have to, it's letting go and trusting. I call it surrendering. It is a surrendering, and that's what I've been talking about for the last few weeks. It is a total surrender of oneself to source, to the divine, to God, to the goddess. And in that surrender, it is just knowing whatever's going on needs to it's whatever's going on. It's surrendering to what's going on. So if you're having a shit show of a day, if you're having, and it's just like no matter what comes at you, no matter what's coming forth, and when you surrender, you're in a totally different energetic place. It's like whatever somebody's yelling or saying, it's like, okay, that's nice. But it's like you're not my boss. At the end of the day, you're not my boss. My boss is upstairs. He's higher up than what you are. And I'm going to know because I'm surrendering. I'm in the knowing. I know that I'm going to be okay. Even though it feels like total chaos and nuttiness, that's going on. Just watching what's going on with NATO and France, Poland, the whole bit over there. Like it's just the heightening is there. That's part of it. This is as I've mentioned that this week is a week that is going to be playing out for the whole year. The seeds of what is going to be playing out is this week. So going back to us individually, what are the seeds that you are wanting to plant for this? And it's going to begin to play out for the rest of the year. So if you're in a set of chaos and decay, and not knowing what to do, sit down and pray and let it go and let God. That because with Neptune leading the way, when Neptune's leading the chart, I'm sorry, he is the one that will bring in delusion. He's the one that can bring in mental dysfunction. He's the one that can take you all over the place. And if you think that you got it figured out and you're wanting to do it your way, and you allow for your ego to get in the way, then you're going to be going in 1,000 different directions, because Neptune, that's what he'll do. Is just like, because it's this mirrored effect that comes in. And last week with that Chiron and North Node, it's our wounds being exposed. And our wounds are being exposed by what is in that reflection. The reflection across the way is Libra. For Pisces, it's Virgo. It's our service. How are we being of service? How are we separating the wheat? Was it the sheaf from the wheat, or the sheath from the rest? So how are we separating everything? How are we, are we staying in this state of crazy delusional energy? And that brings in disruption. It brings in all kinds of stuff for ourselves. So we're in this whirlwind energy. We're in this place of craziness at this time. And it's so important, especially with this, big Sun, Mercury, Saturn conjunction, to pay attention. And Pisces being dreamy and intuitive, but Saturn's involved. He's still trying to hang on to the old ways. He's still trying to bring in those structures. And in doing so can bring us into, because we've had such everything in being constructed for so long, everything constructed, with Saturn in Saturn in Capricorn, then in Aquarius. It's been structure, right? We have to have all of this structure. Good morning, Charlene. But the thing is that we also have to look at, to do this, we have to not be passive or receptive. We have to be open. And being open is the surrendering that we have to do, and the boundaries and the groundedness. But Saturn can be reality checking our Piscean dreams, our fantasies, our illusions. Pisces is it's the cesspool. No offense to any Pisceans out there, but you're the last one in the chart. You're the 12th house in the zodiac. So everything ends up being there. It's kind of like a cesspool. It is where everything and all the stuff is starting to bubble up to the surface. And it's all the stuff that we don't want to deal with. And it's bubbling up and it stinks. And we don't want to see it. I've been watching, it's called Death to the High Street. And if you don't know what the High Street is in, sort of the downtown core, the downtown area where the shopping is in England, in different towns. And going through some of these towns, and you're seeing the cesspools that are there. You're seeing the decay of society. You could go in and you can start going into the larger cities and you start seeing the decay. You can start seeing where they're not taking care of what they need to take care of. And it's coming into our face. And now it's like, okay, it's a surrender. It is a place where we have to say, okay, I get it. Now, what do I need to do? I need to start taking, as Saturn says, a reality check, start looking around and taking responsibility for it. This now moment is the only true point of our power, as we cannot change the past, only our relationships to it. And we cannot change the future only by altering our actions taken in this moment. So this moment now is the only true transformational portal. It's a huge portal that we are going through. And I don't usually talk about portals too much, but this conjunction coming through is a portal for us to go through, a portal of wanting to change the way that we do things, the way that we react to our everyday life and how we are wanting to do it. And today through Friday, the Sun and Mercury conjoin in Saturn, and then the sextile over to Jupiter, which is beautiful, triggering an opening. Jupiter Saturn sextiles, that's technically exact last year of in June of 2023, but it's darn close right now, and it's so energizing and it's beautiful. And it's bringing this, with this crescent moon phase of the Jupiter Saturn conjunction, back in 2020 in December, something was seeded back then, and we are starting to see the sprouts come about, starting to see whatever was going on at that time for yourself individually, what was happening. You're starting to see those sprouts. And this is both personally and also collectively. We are starting to see what is transpiring. And this week is it's the week that people are going to refer back to and say, oh my God, this is the week that things started to happen. This is the week that things started to take off. It's bringing that in and allowing for ourselves to surrender to it. The December solstice of 2020 was the moment of birth, because ages last 2,160 years, and we are only just moments past birth. The age is very much still a newborn baby. So we're in this nuance, this newness, and this resurgence that is coming in. And of course, everything is going to feel chaotic and out of control and explosive. And it's like everything's rising up. So the prices are rising, inflation is rising, everything is surging, everything's getting to this pivotal point, which there will be, of course, an eruption or explosion or something that's going to, pop it. And in all of that, this is where you're kind of going along. You see it, you're just going along, going through the portal. You're going through that, because in going through the portal, it's generating more of what it is that you are seeding within your life and allowing it to grow. And with Venus Mars conjunction in Aquarius, there was like March 2022, and then February this year, 2024, and Pluto transiting the same degree with Jupiter and Saturn conjunction last year. And this year, we are seeing the Aquarian energies pick up speed, huge ways. And it's, the Aquarian age is one where there's work to be done, because we have to work with community. We have to work within our own selves and how we are wanting to create things. But whatever you're seeding, or whatever you are wanting to create, it has to be with community. It can't be individual. If you are creating something just for you individually, it's gonna take a lot longer, and it's gonna be harder to do, because this is about community, rooting down, grounding, connecting, mastering, and integrity, and to becoming more grounded and responsible with where you are. And the age of Aquarius, you can look to where the Aquarius is in your chart. So get a natal chart reading. Hello. And you can book in, and we can take a look. Where is Aquarius in your chart? Do you know where Aquarius is in your chart? And then take a look at what house it's in. And that's going to tell you a lot of how you're going to be dealing with a lot of this nuances of energies that are coming through with Aquarius. And in your sun sign and your rising sign, and that is the area of your life in which your greatest contribution to this age can come through. Do you know where everybody knows where their sun is? Do you know what house your sun is in? Do you know what your rising sign is? And do you know where your moon is? And, these are sort of points in your chart people should know. I think they should know. It's an education, of course, of understanding these points, but it's allowing for you to say, that's going to help you to work through this energy. That's why I get, when people say anybody can manifest this, I did it, you can do it too. No, just because you did it doesn't mean I can do it. Right? So just because I did it doesn't mean you can do it. Reason why? Because my chart's different. Those are things that are like, this is fixed. Like, this is my chart. This is it. This is what I was born with. These are the parents I have. These are the brothers and sisters I have. When I take that responsibility for that and understand that, then I can open up to so much more in my life and understand the direction I need to go into. Some people who have certain things that it happens instantaneously or just happens automatically. We're dealing with people who are manifestor generators or manifestors. Not saying those people are perfect or anything. They just are able to create on a different level. They have a different level of I'm going to say mastery of doing that than per se somebody who is a reflector or projector, who have a whole nother way of creating and dealing with what it is that they need to create and deal with in this lifetime. So understanding these energies within your chart is an important piece. Pluto will spotlight that for you, and where Pluto, is within that. But first, you have to see what is blocking the full light that you are, so that you are that you can carry from being embodied. So, and understanding that energy. So, interestingly, Pisces, um, an Aquarius, like Pisces is my 10th house. So I know it's my 10th house. That means Aquarius would be my 9th house. And what I have to learn about being in my 9th house, well, who's the ruler of the 9th house? Well, that's Sagittarius. Who's the ruler of Sagittarius? Jupiter. So learning how to work and deal with Jupiter, because Jupiter is the expander of positive and negative. He's the one who wants to, when you work with him, when you're done, the door is opened. So there's lessons to be learned. Being Aquarius and Saturn, well, what else do I have to learn? Well, I mean, in Sagittarius, I mean, how to allow for things to just be and not try and control the arrow, right? So many little things like, come up, this is, working with this in Aquarius as I am learning how to work with groups, and sometimes just allowing the group to be who it is and not try to change it, not try to manipulate it or whatever it is. It is allowing for that and surrendering to that. And that gives you even more control than what you had before. So this coming forth, this energy that's coming forth is really bringing in a new movement. This is where, we're coming, the two signs, the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces is the old age and into the new present one. But remember, we're only at the infant stage of this. So we are still dependent upon so much, and so many people within our lives in order for us to grow, to learn, to create in many different ways. So it's interesting when you start, taking a different look into your chart, and then you start dissecting it, and learning how to dissect your chart is an important thing. You can go to astro.com, you could go to Cafe Astrology. If you want to do this on your own, there's many different places you can get your chart for free and work with it and start to learn, what is it that I've come in here to learn? Where is my Saturn in my chart? For me, my Saturn's in Aquarius. So what do I need to learn with Saturn in Aquarius? I just went through my second Saturn return. What does that all mean? What does that all look like? What is it, what do I have to learn going forward and all? We're just in a learning phase. That's what it is. And it's exhausting and it's overwhelming as so much more is coming down upon us. It's And it can feel like a freaking shit show, right? So taking that time and learning it all. So I'm going to pull a card as I got to get going again. Let's go into the tickle trunk. Don't do that, Mary. Oh, look what was on top. Haven't used these babies for a long time. So that's Eros. And that's, I didn't even get into Eros and Athena and Lucifer. That's a whole nother kettle of fish of energies that are coming in as well. So let's see what the gods have to say. These are very kind of flimsy kind of cards. They're not stiff at all. They're very, I mean, I don't use these cards very often. Let's see. What do the gods have to say? Who do we have? Bahameen, beauty. There's his name. Look at, I mean, and they show beauty and they're showing this bird that looks ugly as hell, right? So what is in the energies of this god, which I do not know. I don't know anything about him. So we're going to learn something about him. Look at the beauty around you. Get outside, reconnect with the healing power of nature. Oh, he's an Australian god. Aboriginal. And he comes from the Aborigines of the Wanaruha tribal area. The great spirit of these parts is known as Baha'ima. That's how I'm pronouncing it. I'm probably trashing it. It's this territory is bountiful and filled with prosperity. It is said, decided to come down from the sky and create it all in this place, from the stunning rivers to the trees and the medicine plants. Every unique animal and bird he created was beautiful and perfect. He carefully crafted many laws for the people to live by in order for them to sustain in a peaceful and beautiful life. He placed these guidelines in the lore stones for elders to keep. And when he completed his work, he returned to the sky from whence he came. Humans saw what Bahim had made. It was full of splendor, and they were grateful. So being appreciative to the things that you have as he comes in. So interesting. So he's a God governing men's intentions. So bringing him forth, asking him to bring forth the intentions. It is important for women and those outside the tribe to understand that depending upon the area, Bahim's name may not be spoken out loud. Any work we do with him should be in silent and meditative rather than vocalized. So he's a quiet God. He wants quiet. He doesn't want the banging of drums or the singing of songs. Recreating this place. So the healing starts deep within the earth and extends upon it. So interesting. So this is a God that really wants you to come into silence. Come into the silence of the beauty. To be aware. This is what I'm feeling with this. You know, it's like being aware. He's creating such beauty around you that sometimes there's so much noise. You don't even know. You don't even notice. There's a TikTok that's going around with this one guy, and he talks about the year 2007 in the summer, and that being the last time there was basically silence, meaning, there was no notification. People didn't have phones by their bed. Um, you only were allowed so many texts. And if to use the computer, it was usually dial up, or it would take so long to be able to utilize it. So back then, it was a time that it was still simple, because 2007 is when the iPhone came out. So this is where this energy comes in to say, hey, let's get into the silence. Allow for the silence to be there. And in that silence, you are able to manifest your desires, your wants, your needs. But it's only within the silence that you are able to do this. So there you go. Go into the silence. You guys all have a wonderful day. I know I wasn't on YouTube or Facebook. YouTube has taken down some of my stuff because it is health, whatever. I said something. What else is new? And yeah, my one on yesterday, I was on Instagram, and I went kind of crazy on Instagram, but it's just there's a lot of points of views that are, that really other people might get offended by. But you know what? I'm not even sorry for it, because I think a lot of things need to be discussed and brought out to the open in order for change to happen. And you know, that's so true. So anyways, I got to get going. I will talk to you all soon. And if you're wanting to book appointment, definitely get a hold of me by either DM or email thegurumama@gmail.com. And, I have some time coming up in March. It's getting pretty busy. So I'm sending you guys out so much love. Blessings, everyone.